All right. So thank you guys for being here again. Another segment of our SOMA MATER podcast. And here we're with Zachary Roy, which is the restaurant manager at Lowe. And so today we're going to ask him a few questions and we'll just jump right into it.
Sure, let's go.
All right. So we started this conversation yesterday, but we're going to continue it today. So when you're thinking about sourcing food, right, for the restaurant, how are you thinking? How's that thought process for you, right? Are you thinking locally, regionally, globally, and what guides you into that decision making?
So first things first is we want to source as local as possible. That's our ethos. So we want to make sure that if we can get it from, when I say locally, UAE, but more specifically GCC,
Right.
we do our best to get it. Now, unfortunately, the UAE and the GCC is not at a stage where it can supply all the particularly proteins that we might need. So then we start to cast a wider net,
Amazing.
a little bit wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wider. Just for example, our beef is from Australia because we find that it also has to, quality and quantity have to intertwine.
Mhm.
But then we make, conscious efforts to make sure that how is that beef getting from here? Is it over a ship? Is it over freight? So we make sure to try and reduce the carbon footprint as much as possible. But back to the local sourcing, so we can get lots of tomatoes locally grown here. Hydroponics is being
Right.
very, very big in the UAE at the moment. And I found historically hydroponically grown fruit and veg tends to taste a little watered down.
Mhm.
However, in the last couple of years, I've noticed that that's not the case. Like the tomatoes in the restaurant are grown here and they're just full of flavor, super
Yeah.
juicy. Try and source our seafood as much as possible here. Obviously, Fujairah has Bay. We serve those local oysters and we try and champion the people that we work with as well.
Amazing.
And it becomes a lot fresher and a lot less freight time when it comes to sourcing locally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. And from doing that, so how do you balance that juxtaposition between, sourcing locally, but also keeping international standards? Is that a challenge or is that something that's gotten easier over the years?
It's definitely getting a lot easier. There's so many, tens of thousands of farms that are popping up here.
Mm-hmm.
Beef and chicken is starting to become available, but as I mentioned earlier, it becomes an issue of also quality. So we're doing our best and we're speaking with local suppliers, and whenever they get new product in, whether it's, I think we're looking at getting chickens from Egypt at the moment.
Oh, wow.
It's growing progressively. And as those things come in, obviously, when we make a menu, it's not set in stone. We try and change
Yeah.
it seasonally, which means we have an opportunity every, 4 to 6 months to relook at what we're going to put on the plate, look at what our suppliers have to offer, speaking with them, and we make sure that they know that we try and source as locally as possible. So let's say we don't have a product with them,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden they have that product, then we can start purchasing from them, which is an incentive for
Yeah.
them as well.
Amazing. So in that case, seasonality, rather than being a challenge, you're using it as an opportunity.
I think so, and you see the difference on the plate. So
Yeah.
tomatoes that I've grown here in the UAE that I put on the plate that's traveled 100 kilometers versus tomatoes that I'm importing from Europe are not going to be the same, right? And then the shelf life, it's been traveling for 2 to 3 days, it's gone to a supplier for 2 to 3 days, then it gets to me. It might take a day to put it on the plate versus I buy it here at Emirates Biofarm and I get it delivered the next day and then I can put it on the plate the next day.
Amazing. Yeah, perfect. And for example, for other people in the ecosystem, restaurant managers like you, how would you advise that they collaborate in a way, specifically locally, so that what's happening at Lowe is not just an exception, but becomes a norm, right?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a stigma when you hear sustainability.
Yeah.
Obviously, at events like these, sustainability is sexy. Everybody's talking about it,
Yeah.
but it's not in the greater realm of Dubai. Now, there are some really amazing restaurants that are doing a lot of great things. Boca, Table, ourselves are the 3 Michelin Green Stars, but we get acknowledged for that. But there's other restaurants that are doing some really, really phenomenal things, but they don't want to say it out loud because they don't want to become a sustainable
They
restaurant.
go unnoticed because
They don't.
of that.
They hide it. Like I've got friends in kitchens that are doing some crazy things. I'm learning from them how to do a couple different items, and we're sharing knowledge, but they don't want to champion it. So, I think the most important thing is to have conversations with people, working with some really cool organizations. We work with the Sustainable Restaurant Association, which is a third-party company, and then we can show what we've done. All our SOPs are written down. Everything is transparent, and then we can share it with the next restaurant. And I think the
Right.
issue is a lot of people think you're gatekeeping, but we don't do that. We want to if somebody listening today wants to know what we're doing, they can shoot me an email and I'll
Yeah.
happily share them with this
Yeah.
information. We hold seminars and classes. We work with Pernod Ricard, an alcohol supplier for Bar World of Tomorrow, teaching their bartenders and bartenders all around Dubai how Lowe does our bar sustainably.
Mm-hmm.
And then working with local partners like Seafood Souk,
Amazing.
who helps us with our traceability, and then just advertising that to the world. It needs to
Right.
be shouted out loud from the rooftops. We can start right here today.
Right. We have a system and we have to be proud of it. Am I
Exactly
right?
right.
All right. So, Zachary, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
It's been amazing and we hope to catch you around.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
All right.